Hey, shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless, and welcome to Sins of San Diego. On Sins of San Diego, we're going to cover the evil that's going on in San Diego. I don't know if y'all ever seen Anchorman, right, with Ron Burgundy, but the way that they portray the news in San Diego is everything is peaceful and everything is loving. So when you look at San Diego as a city, that's often the perception, right? Everything's good, everything's smooth, there's no problems, there's no issues, there's no evil going on. So in this segment, we're going to touch on history that has happened in San Diego to show you the sins from the past. We're going to touch on what's going on in the present, and we might touch on some prophecy in terms of the future. We're going to deal with the sins of San Diego. Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. Let's read that. Let's see what the prophets were doing in their times. Jeremiah 28 verse 8.
The book of Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 8. The prophets that have been before me.
The prophets that have been before me, before San Diego was ever a city, what did they do?
And before thee of old prophesied both against many countries.
They prophesied against many countries because the places that they were living in were wicked. Everything wasn't right. Everything wasn't good to go. So they identified the evil and they prophesied against it. Go ahead.
And against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And of what?
And of pestilence.
Before that. And of what?
Of war.
Before that.
And of evil.
And of evil. And of evil, of sin, of the wickedness of the places that they were living in. Go ahead.
And of pestilence.
Read.
The prophet which prophesieth of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known, that the Lord hath truly sent him.
All right, we're going to cut that out. But anyway, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. That's what we want. Ezekiel 9 and verse 4. Let's go there. So let's deal with, again, the mentality of the prophets, right? The prophets, when they were in the city, they identified the evil. In the country, they identified the evil, and they prophesied against it. Ezekiel 9. Let's see if it's anything different there.
Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry.
That do what?
Of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof.
See, there's a certain type of man that's going to look at the evil that's being done in the society and sigh and cry and go, oh, man, they doing this again. They acting up. Oh, man, look at that evil. Look how they trying to hide that. Nothing is going to get past the spirit of the Lord. It's going to all come out in these last days. Every sin of San Diego is going to be revealed. Go ahead.
And to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither ye have pity.
He said, go throughout the city and smite. Cast down everything that's against God. All the abominations that you find, it's time to cast them down. That's the mentality of God when he comes back, and that's the mentality of his prophets. Right now, we're just going to teach about it. In the end, we're going to turn into hunters, and we're going to destroy the lies physically. But for now, we're going to prophesy. We're going to bring out the scriptures when we see the evil, whether that be in the past or the present, and we're going to identify for the people so that they can say, man, this ain't what Ron Burgundy was talking about. It's a whole lot of evil going on in San Diego. Go ahead.
Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house.
So we're going to go through the city, and we're going to identify that sin. Because in the last days, the Lord said he's going to slay anyone who's caught up in it. So this is about saving our people and making sure that they don't get caught up in the foolishness that is San Diego. So today, we're going to cover border migration, right? Border migration. So let's go ahead and get that video. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. What has happened at the San Diego border? Go ahead.
Joining me today to talk more about the latest developments in the border crisis is immigration attorney Esther Valdez-Clayton. Esther, I used to watch these news stories, and it was San Francisco or Los Angeles, maybe that close to home, Sacramento maybe, New York, Texas. But now we're seeing the stories that we thought were national stories in our own backyard. The problem is here. It's been here, right?
It's been a matter of time before San Diego started to experience what Texas and Arizona were experiencing with mass releases of migrants. But it was predictable because over the last fiscal year that just is about to end at the end of September, in 2022, we've seen over 2 million migrants being apprehended at the southern border. Just this year alone, Paul, just to give you an overview, 1.9 million migrants have been apprehended at the southern border. That's the size of many medium-sized towns, such as San Antonio or San Diego. What that means is that they're being caught, they're being processed, and they're being released into the United States communities throughout the nation, including democratically controlled areas like New York City, like Chicago, like Washington, D.C., without really housing, without really knowing where to go, what to do, but they all need to look for a job. And this largely stems from economic migration because of what's going on in South America, what's going on in Africa. They're coming to the United States to be able to flee poverty and find a job here in the United States. But when off camera, you and I were talking how a lot of people use the wrong terminology, saying these are illegal immigrants, they have no right to be here. Actually, they do under asylum law. If you come to the United States, that's the big loophole that we're talking about. All of them are asking for protections here in the United States with a court date that will be 5 to 7 years from today, probably in 2029 here in San Diego, to come to court and be able to proceed and provide evidence that they are fleeing persecution.
So they're gaming the system, because we had Tara Lawson-Remer on just recently, and she said her opinion was that the vast majority of these people are legitimate asylum cases.
Well, she's not an attorney, she's a supervisor, and I've been doing this for 20 years. We know statistically that the majority of them do not prevail in court. Most of them are economic migrants, and having screened hundreds, if not over 1,000 migrants myself personally, I can tell you many of them will freely tell you, I came here for work, better opportunities, and nobody faults them. What
Real
this
quick,
is
pause it,
a
man. Let's go to Obadiah 1 and verse 3, because this sister got pride on her, man. Instead of dealing with the issue, right, she got at the other person that came on and talked. This is, again, the type of stuff that goes on. It may not seem like a big deal, but we're talking about the issue of people coming over the border, being oppressed, and instead of dealing with that, we want to discredit people, right? This is the type of thing that you see in America where the issues ain't addressed. There's really no care for the issue. It's more so about who's going to get status and who's the most important that talks about it. Read that, Obadiah 1 and 3.
Obadiah verse 1 and Obadiah verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
So that's the mindset that people of status have in America. It just rubbed off on them to the point where now we're talking about this sister, right? She grew up, right? Her last name is Valdez Clayton, as you can see, right? So this sister has some connection to Issachar, right? To the tribe of Issachar. Instead of dealing with that and the people, it's about who can we discredit and how can I make myself look best. Again, this is just small things that you see, but it plays into the bigger scheme of what's going on here. Go ahead and let's keep playing it.
Policy failure from the Biden administration and legislators such as Lawson-Remer that don't understand the problem.
But if the president was sitting here, he would tell you his policies are working, and he would point, man, statistics are everywhere. He'll point to, well, yeah, the situation is not nearly as bad as we thought it was going to be,
well,
as a reason that it's successful.
Let's use his own words. He's promised a more humane, more compassionate way to process migrants. What we saw, the world is watching what happened in San Diego over the weekend. They were dropped off in Iris Avenue, hundreds of males. They didn't know what to do, where to go. They're perplexed. They're coming from Senegal, from Madagascar. They're asking Border Patrol agents, where did we go? And the Border Patrol agents are telling them, anywhere you want. They don't know how to get there. They don't. Our hospital emergency rooms are to capacity, same as the detention facilities. This isn't humane, where the Biden administration has caused the death of a record number of migrants. Over 800 migrants have died.
All right, let's drop this. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 31. So if you can catch what's going on here, people are being dropped off in San Diego with nowhere to go. People like, hey, how do I get to California? You in it. How do I get to LA? You just take the bus. We're going to watch another video in a second here that shows a man who got dropped off, and he's like, man, it's great here. But they're not providing any resources for the tribe of Issachar, for the people that are from the diaspora that were scattered that are now being brought into America. They're like, hey, you got asylum, you're free to go. Well, where do we go? I don't know. Figure it out. They have no money. They have no resources, right? They just got the people that's there that's willing to participate. It's volunteers down there trying to help out. But let's look at Proverbs 14 and verse 31. Let's see what God said about a country, about a city that would just drop people off and provide them no resources. Go ahead.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 14, verse 31. He that oppresseth the poor reproacheth his maker.
You see what it says? He that oppressed the poor, he reproaches his maker. The maker look at him and go, what the hell is this? He needs help. And you telling him, figure it out. Figure it out. That is the mindset of the people that are getting, the people that are dropping people off in San Diego. Border Patrol saying, hey, y'all good to go. Here's the bus station. Who's going to help these immigrants? Who's going to help our people to figure out how they get to some sort of safety, right? Some sort of household or environment, right, where they can actually grow. They're not going to be able to grow. They're going to be homeless. That's what's happening. San Diego already has a huge homeless problem, and all these people are getting dropped off with no resources. It makes no sense, but it shows you the mindset of Babylon. Give me Proverbs 22 and verse 16. It shows you the mindset of Babylon. This is not a place for taking care of people. It's a place for, we need more slaves. We need more workers. Let's drop them off. They could do construction, right? They could do these jobs that nobody else wants to do. We need somebody to do that. They'll be all right. They'll figure it out. See, what America will do, right, and what San Diego will do is people will complain, but the people that own businesses that need workers off the books, oh, they have no problem taking these workers and giving them something to do. They're going to be right outside of Home Depot standing there wondering what's next. Proverbs 22 and 16.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22 and verse 16. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want.
You see what it says? You don't think these people are going to go work and then get paid below minimum wage? That's what's about to happen with all these people that are coming to the country. They need jobs. How are they supposed to get on the train? See, on the surface, people will be like, I don't know why he's just dropping them all off. Oh, they going to find work to do. Issachar going to find. So give me that Issachar find work to do. Just so we're on the same page. The northern kingdom is going to find work to do. Scriptures say that, read it real quick. Genesis 49, verse 14. Let's see about the characteristics of Issachar. Are they going to come here and just be slothful and do nothing? Read that.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 14. Issachar is a strong ass.
You see what God said about Issachar? They are a strong ass. You think Esau don't know that? Go ahead.
Couching down between two burdens.
His two burdens, right, are long hours and low wages. Also, he got Southern America and North America. He don't got nowhere to run. He could run deeper into oppression or upward into oppression. He got nowhere to be free. So now he found himself in asylum. Issachar means he is hired. You don't think they're going to get hired when they come over here? Don't let the news fool you. They playing it like, oh, I don't know what these people are going to do. I mean, they have no resources, nothing. They're going to be on a construction job tomorrow. They're going to be on a construction job tomorrow. Go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and let's read verse 65. Actually, before we get that, let's pull up the next video. Let's see what this brother said about the whole story.
The county told ABC 10 News more than 2,000 people have been dropped off this week. Our ABC 10 News reporter Spencer Soicher spoke with several migrants today at the Iris Transit Center.
Thanks for one to the airport. Say, and yeah, that guy.
At the Iris Transit Center, migrants are getting their first taste of the United States. San Diego County says 292 migrants were dropped off here on Sunday morning by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. I have come to the land of safety and freedom. Mohammed Swalim is here from Mauritania, a country in northwest Africa. He was excited to come talk to us. He spoke to us in Arabic through a translation app. I have been gone for a month or more since my approach. Swalim is coming from immigration detention. Local migrant shelters are at capacity, which has triggered the street releases in the county. I was oppressed in my country, even though I was a football player. But Swalim doesn't plan to be in San Diego much longer. He's headed to New York, where he has family.
That's one of the best moments we see when they're finally able to tell their family that they're here, they're safe.
Lindsay Toslowski is an immigration attorney. She's also the director of the Immigrant Defenders Law Center. Her group is helping migrants like Swalim, providing food, water, phone chargers, and helping the migrants navigate their way.
It's incredibly diverse. We're, utilizing translators. There are people from all over the world. These are refugees. These are people who are coming to seek refuge in the United States, and the countries that they are from reflect many of the conflicts going on around the world.
Right now, it's unknown how long the situation will last, but she says they'll continue to try to help.
These street releases are challenging, and certainly for the people who are being released, it's a big challenge for them and a challenge for those of us who are serving them.
In San Ysidro, Spencer Soicher, ABC 10 News.
All right, give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 65. See, what that brother that came here and many of our people that are being dropped off don't understand is this. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 65.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
They think they about to get over here and it's about to be easy. They say, yo, it got to be better here. They got nice TVs and they got cars and they got shoes and food. It's going to be better here. It's going to be way nicer than my country. I mean, I can't wait to get into America. And the Lord said, among these nations shalt thou find no ease. You know what the rent price look like in New York? You know what the rent look like in California and San Diego? He said, man, I made it to safety. And that's how many of our people that are being dropped off in the middle of the street feel. This is wickedness. At the root is wickedness because you're bringing them to a place where you know you have no intention of taking care of them. You know they're going to do everything to claw their way up in your society, and you'll let the ones that kill themselves. But the ones that benefit you, you'll keep around. Read Deuteronomy 28, verse 65 again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind.
You know how stressful it got to be for them to say, yo, we letting you go. You're like, oh, cool, where I'm going? Right here, to the bus stop. That's crazy as hell. We're going to drop you off at the bus stop. You don't speak the language. Your phone barely work. You ain't got good shoes. You see they ain't even got phone chargers? They don't even got phone chargers. They like, yo, we dropping you off, bro. Figure it out. Yeah, I'm going to New York. How, Sway? With what money? What resources are you using to get from one side of the country to the other side of the country? You're going to need some help, brother. And that's the mindset that they have our people believing outside of the country. They think when they come here, it's going to be all good. Not realizing when you come to a place like San Diego, everything costs. Everything going to cost you money. It ain't cheap to live here. It ain't cheap to get around on a trolley. It ain't cheap for you to get from one place to the other. But they create this mentality of, hey, it's going to be better here than it was in your country. And that's a lie. Nahum chapter 3 and verse 1. This is how God feels about the city of San Diego. And the people coming here, they should be able to identify that. That's why we got to teach, because the mindset is that everything's going to be peaceful and everything's going good here. Read that.
The book of Nahum, chapter 3 and verse 1. Woe to the bloody city.
You see what God said? Destruction to the bloody city. San Diego was founded on the murder and the oppression of the northern kingdom, of the Kumeyaw, right? Of the people from the tribe of Issachar, of the Aztecs. They were murdered and slaughtered here. So God said destruction to the bloody city. Go ahead.
It is all full of lies and robbery.
It's full of lies and robbery. They finna rob y'all. You think you coming in and it's gonna benefit you, but not realizing there's lies and robbery in this city. That's what's going on here. Give me Amos chapter 9 and verse 8. This is how God is thinking about it. God understands that this place is to oppress you, and you think you made it to freedom. Not realizing you made it to Babylon, to the headquarters of oppression. Read that.
The book of Amos, chapter 9 and verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Lord God are upon the sinful kingdom.
That's what this place is, a sinful kingdom. Go ahead.
And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth.
See what God said about San Diego? See what God said about Babylon the Great? I will destroy it from off the earth. Go ahead.
Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord.
But the children of Israel, he's going to keep alive. But if we don't know our nationality, if we don't know what's going on and what role we play, we're going to be right there with them being destroyed. Give me Psalm chapter 73 and verse 3. Watch this. Something heavy in Psalms, man. Because you might see the oppression of our people going on, but sometimes what happens is you say, I want to be like them. And that's what's going on for many of our people getting dropped off here. They're fleeing to America with the mindset of, I want to be like an American. I want what they got. I want all the peace and comfort that they got. But you don't realize that comes with destruction. Destruction of your soul, destruction of your identity, destruction of your people, and ultimately destruction of everyone around you because of the sin that they're pushing to everyone around you. You're actually going to make it worse for yourself if you can't come up out of this situation. Psalm chapter 73 and verse 3.
The book of Psalm, chapter 73 and verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish.
That is the mindset of our people coming to this country. They're envious at the foolish. Go ahead.
When I saw the prosperity of the wicked.
When I see the wicked in San Diego and they got palm trees and it look like they living good and they driving Teslas, I'm envious. I think everything's good for them. Not realizing this place is set up to blow you to sleep, and then when the Lord drops the bombs, everybody going to be panicking. When the Lord drops famine and poverty and pestilence on you, everybody going to be panicking. Go ahead.
For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm.
Read.
They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment.
You think they're going to just let these migrants come in and everything going to be all right? You don't think they're going to be locking them up, doing violence to them? That's what's going to happen in this city. Just like it happens in Arizona, just like it happens in Texas. They said it just hit San Diego for the first time. It's really hitting the backyard of San Diego. Guess what? All these people getting dropped off, violence is coming to them. Oppression is coming to them. Go ahead.
Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And they say, how doth God know? And is there knowledge in the Most High?
They start to believe in San Diego more than God. And this city more than God, because they go, man, look at the people that don't believe in God. Look how good they doing. Look how they living. That's the mindset that can be brought upon the people. They start to say, oh, white Jesus got me here. Catholicism got me here. Whoever gives them what they need in terms of resources, they believe that's the way to go because of food and bread and because of the false sense of security. San Diego knows exactly what they're doing. See, on one hand, again, it's like we don't want these people here. But on the other hand, there's someone saying, I know exactly what I'm going to do for them. I got churches for them. I got jobs for them. I got indoctrination for them. Before they know it, they're going to be regular old San Diegans. Read.
Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches.
Give me Habakkuk 2 and verse 4, and we're going to wrap it up after this. So they think they're going to bring these people in, and then it'll benefit. And they blame Biden, right? But Biden got a plan. Biden got a plan, just like San Diego got a plan. You don't think everybody on the same page? Don't get caught up in the fact that they're arguing. It looks like the Republicans going against the Democrats. No. They got a plan for these people. They know that they're going to keep the Israelites on the bottom of society. That's the plan. That's the plan. You may see it and go, oh, man, well, some people want to help and some people don't want to help. Nah, nobody wants to help. Everybody has the same plan of keeping the Israelites on the bottom of society. Read that. But this is what God says is going to happen in the last days.
Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him.
That is the so-called white man. Edom's soul ain't right. He might look like he helping you, but he ain't right. This might look like the land of peace and safety, but it ain't the land of peace and safety. It's the land of your destruction. Go ahead.
But the just shall live by his faith.
Read.
Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
You see what the Bible said that Edom would be doing in these last days? He would be heaping unto himself all people. So it's a part of prophecy what you see going on here. That's why it's starting to happen in all these border towns, because God said he would heap to himself all people. But what's going to happen next? Read.
Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him?
All these people that you see coming on, they're going to take up a parable against this so-called white man, against Babylon the Great. They're going to say, man, I came to this place. They lied. They said it was the place of salvation. They said everything was going to be all right. They said they were going to make me comfortable here. I don't like it. Here's why. Watch.
And say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his.
He keeps stealing. I'm here, and now I can watch the news, and I'm seeing it. It's all around me. He's a liar. He's a robber. I came into this bloody city, and now I figure out what they're actually about. They ain't get this because they're righteous. They got it because they steal from everybody. They lie to everybody. Go ahead.
How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them.
All these people that came, they're going to turn against America because America's going to oppress every single one of the countries that they're coming from. That's what America does. America can't keep at home. So they're going to go out to Central America, to Africa, and they're going to look for more resources and more goods and more things to take. And the people that they're dropping off here and saying, you can go here, you're free to go. They're going to be watching the news and learning and saying, dang, this place is, they destroying my home country. They're destroying my home country. So they're going to take up a parable against them. They're going to destroy America from the inside. That's what the Bible talks about. It calls these people caterpillars. That's what's coming. You may look at this and say, oh, this is just something like that's going on. But through the sins that are going to be committed against them in San Diego, they're going to start to hate this very city. Read.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee.
Read it again from the top. Verse 8.
Verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Because of men's blood and for the violence of the land. Of the city.
Of the what?
Of the city.
Of the what?
And of the city.
Uh-huh.
And of all that dwell therein.
Read.
Woe to him that covereth an evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil.
That's what's going to happen because destruction has to come to a people who've destroyed many. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. Remember, subscribe to IUIC San Diego. And remember, you can follow more Sins of San Diego coming soon. Shalom. Most high, praise, bless.
Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. His word